Ladies and gentlemen, imagine for a moment that in a world of billions, where faces blur and voices fade into noise, there exists one soul so rare that encountering her feels like discovering a hidden star in the night sky. She is not defined by perfection, but by a kind of authenticity that can't be manufactured, a loyalty that does not waver when storms arrive, and a love that shines brightest in the darkest hour. We live in an age where love is often treated as disposable, where loyalty bends under the weight of convenience, but every now and then you find someone who defies that pattern, someone who reminds you that true devotion still exists. This kind of person doesn't just enter your life, she transforms it. She teaches you what it means to be seen, to be valued, and to be chosen not for what you have, but for who you are at the deepest level. She is the kind of rare spirit who stands beside you when the world walks away, who believes in you when even you doubt yourself, who gives without calculating, and forgives without keeping score. And when you encounter love like this, you realize it isn't an accident. It feels divinely orchestrated, as though the universe, or perhaps something greater than the universe, placed her on your path to remind you that real love is not just an emotion, but a calling. A calling to rise higher, to build stronger, to love deeper, and to honor loyalty as the treasure it truly is. She is one in a million not because she is flawless, but because she is faithful. Not because she is loud, but because her quiet strength speaks louder than words ever could. And in a world where loyalty is rare, finding someone like her is the closest thing we have to a miracle. True love is not found in perfection, but in authenticity and loyalty. When people think of love, many imagine something flawless, free of flaws and struggles, but the reality is that true love was never designed to exist in perfection. True love is about seeing every imperfection and still choosing to stay, still choosing to believe, and still choosing to honor the bond that ties two souls together. It is not the absence of mistakes that makes love rare, it is the presence of unwavering authenticity and loyalty. In a world where many wear masks, where people strive to appear stronger, richer, or more complete than they really are, authenticity stands out like light in the darkness. To be real, to be genuine, to show your heart without pretense, that is the foundation of love that endures. When someone loves authentically, they do not hide behind the fear of rejection or the desire for approval. They love with a heart that is honest, vulnerable, and transparent. Authentic love does not say, "I will love you as long as you meet my expectations." It says, "I will love you even when you stumble, even when you struggle, because I see the truth of who you are beneath the surface." And that authenticity is paired with loyalty, which becomes the glue that binds two people together through the seasons of life. Loyalty is not tested in sunshine, it is tested when the rain falls, when challenges rise, when paths grow difficult. Anyone can stay when life is easy, but true love is revealed in the moments when it would have been easier to walk away, yet loyalty chooses to remain. This kind of love does not demand perfection, because it understands the human heart is imperfect by design. Instead, it values the honesty of being fully present and fully committed. It cherishes the quiet moments of faithfulness, the small acts of sacrifice, the words spoken not out of duty, but out of devotion. True love is not about finding someone who never fails. It is about finding someone who, even when they fail, their loyalty keeps them standing by your side. There is a kind of beauty in knowing that authenticity and loyalty outweigh every flaw, every weakness, every limitation. The world may chase after perfection, but the rarest kind of love looks deeper. It does not fade when the shine wears off, nor does it crumble when life reveals its difficulties. It is steady, consistent, and unshakable, because it is grounded not in what can be seen on the surface, but in what is true and enduring within the heart. This is the kind of love that lasts, the kind that transforms, the kind that becomes the anchor for the soul in an ever-changing world. Rare devotion transforms lives by inspiring trust and faith. When you encounter devotion that is genuine and rare, it has the power to reshape the way you see yourself and the world around you. There is something extraordinary about knowing that another person is deeply committed to you, not because of what you can provide, but because of who you are at your core. This kind of devotion builds an unshakable foundation of trust, and from that trust grows a faith that can carry you through storms you never thought you could endure. Trust is not built on words alone, it is built on actions, on consistency, on the daily choices that prove loyalty over time. Rare devotion does not need to announce itself, because it speaks through presence, through reliability, and through the quiet assurance that when life becomes difficult, you will not face it alone. This trust changes the way a person lives. It allows them to open their heart more fully, to walk with confidence, and to dream with boldness. When you know someone is devoted to you, you are no longer bound by fear of abandonment or betrayal. That certainty frees you to grow, to risk, to reach higher than you would have dared on your own. It is a transformative kind of love that strengthens both people involved, because it feeds the soul with security and stability, the very things so many long for but rarely find. Faith is also born from this devotion. When someone stands unwaveringly by your side, even when circumstances shake everything else around you, it plants within your spirit a belief that love can truly withstand the tests of time. Faith rises when you witness sacrifice, when you see a person put your well-being above their comfort, when loyalty remains unbroken even under pressure. This kind of devotion mirrors something greater than human affection. It reflects a divine truth, that love rooted in faith and trust can never be shaken by the storms of life. Rare devotion also inspires you to become more than you thought you could be. It pushes you to rise to the same level of loyalty and care that you are receiving. It creates a cycle of trust and faith that grows stronger with every trial, with every victory, and with every shared moment of vulnerability. Such devotion does not weaken with time. Instead, it deepens because trust grows like roots, anchoring both souls to something greater than themselves. To experience this kind of devotion is to experience a quiet miracle. It transforms not just the relationship, but the individuals within it, giving them strength to endure, courage to hope, and a faith that love, when it is real and rare, is one of the most powerful forces that can ever enter a human life. Genuine loyalty shines brightest in times of trials and storms. It is easy to speak of love and loyalty when life is smooth, when everything falls into place, and when there is no pressure to test the strength of commitment. But the real weight of loyalty is revealed in the valleys, not on the mountaintops. Genuine loyalty proves itself not in words, spoken during moments of peace, but in actions taken when the winds of difficulty blow hardest. When trials come, and they always do, it is loyalty that separates the temporary from the eternal, the fleeting from the unshakable. In moments of suffering, betrayal, loss, or disappointment, loyalty becomes a light. It is the quiet presence that refuses to walk away, even when every reason to leave seems justified. It is the steady hand that reaches out when others have withdrawn, the reassuring voice that says, "I am still here," when silence could have been easier. This is the essence of genuine loyalty. It does not measure convenience, nor does it calculate personal benefit. It simply stands firm, because its foundation is deeper than circumstance. When storms rise, many relationships fracture, because they were built only on surface-level emotions or temporary attraction. But genuine loyalty digs its roots deep into the soil of trust, faith, and commitment. It anchors the bond when waves crash, when doubts surface, when the weight of uncertainty presses down. Loyalty in trials is not loud, yet it speaks louder than anything else. It communicates devotion without needing to prove itself, because its consistency is proof enough. This kind of loyalty also strengthens the one who receives it. To know that someone will not leave you in your weakest hour is to experience a kind of grace that renews your strength. It restores hope when despair whispers defeat. It builds courage when fear says you cannot endure, and it gives comfort when loneliness tries to take over. Loyalty is not just about staying, it is about lifting, carrying, and believing when the weight is too heavy to bear alone. Storms are never pleasant, but they have a way of revealing the truth. They strip away pretense, expose intentions, and show what was real all along. Those who are loyal do not just survive the storms with you. They emerge on the other side with a bond that is stronger, deeper, and more unbreakable than before. This is why loyalty shines brightest in trials. It cannot be faked, it cannot be fabricated, and it cannot be borrowed. It either exists or it doesn't, and when it does, it becomes a rare and precious gift that defines love in its purest form. Loyalty in trials is the living testimony that love is more than emotion. It is a decision, a choice made daily, a commitment that holds fast not only in the sunshine, but especially in the rain. Real love feels divinely orchestrated, a calling to rise higher. There are moments in life when you meet someone and everything about the encounter feels bigger than coincidence. It feels as though every step, every detour, and every delay brought you to that exact place, to that exact moment. Real love carries with it a sense of divine orchestration, as though it was not merely the product of chance but the unfolding of a greater plan. This kind of love does not feel ordinary, it feels purposeful, almost sacred, reminding you that some connections are written in a script beyond human hands. When you experience this love, you sense that it is not meant to keep you where you are, but to call you higher. It pushes you out of comfort zones, stretches your character, and challenges you to become the best version of yourself. Real love does not settle for mediocrity. because it knows there is greatness within both souls. It awakens dreams that were sleeping, ignites passions that had grown dim, and strengthens faith that was fragile. It becomes a mirror reflecting both who you are and who you are meant to be. This feeling of divine orchestration also brings with it peace. Even in the chaos of life, there is a calm assurance that you are exactly where you are meant to be. The love feels guided, as if unseen hands are weaving together two lives into a story greater than either could have written alone. It gives you confidence that even in moments of doubt or struggle, there is a higher purpose behind the bond you share. Real love is not blind to flaws, but it sees through them with grace, understanding that destiny does not require perfection, only willingness and faithfulness. Such a love inspires you to live differently. You begin to think beyond yourself, to act with greater compassion, to sacrifice more willingly, and to love more deeply. You feel a responsibility not just to protect the relationship, but to grow with it, to rise with it, to honor the sacredness of what has been entrusted to you. This is why real love feels like a calling. It demands growth, it requires perseverance, and it invites both people to rise above selfishness into something far greater than individual desires. It is in this kind of love that heaven seems to touch earth. It is where trust, loyalty, and faith converge into a force strong enough to weather anything life may bring. It is not shallow, it is not fleeting, and it is not accidental. It is designed, intentional, and full of purpose, shaping both hearts to become more resilient, more faithful, and more aligned with the divine plan that brought them together in the first place. Faithful love is the greatest treasure in a world where loyalty is scarce. We live in a time where words are cheap, promises are fragile, and loyalty is often traded for convenience. In such a world, to encounter faithful love is to stumble upon a treasure more valuable than wealth, more enduring than beauty, and more powerful than status. It is rare not because it is impossible, but because so few are willing to give of themselves with that level of commitment. Faithful love is not measured in grand gestures alone, it is measured in constancy, in the daily choice to stay, to care, to protect, and to nurture even when life grows heavy. Faithful love becomes a sanctuary. It is the place where hearts find rest, where fears lose their grip, and where wounds begin to heal. Knowing that someone is truly faithful to you creates a kind of peace that nothing else in the world can provide. It whispers that you are safe, that you are valued, and that no matter how chaotic life becomes, there is one person who will not turn away. This unwavering presence is what makes faithful love such a rare treasure. It cannot be bought, it cannot be forced, it must be freely given. This kind of love is also powerful because it transcends circumstances. Faithful love is not fragile, bending under pressure or fading when trials arise. Instead, it grows stronger in adversity, proving itself again and again when lesser bonds would have broken. It does not depend on perfection, nor does it crumble under disappointment. Its strength lies in its endurance, in its decision to hold on even when letting go would seem easier. Faithful love remains when others scatter, it protects when others abandon, and it believes when others doubt. The scarcity of loyalty in the world makes faithful love shine all the brighter. Because it is so rare, it stands as a light, a reminder that true devotion still exists, even when betrayal and selfishness are common. It challenges us to value relationships not by what they offer us in return, but by the depth of love and loyalty they contain. In this way, faithful love not only enriches the one who receives it, but also elevates the one who gives it, shaping both into stronger, more compassionate, more enduring souls. To call faithful love a treasure is not poetic exaggeration, it is truth. It is a gift that cannot be replicated by material wealth or fleeting pleasures. It is the kind of treasure that sustains through decades, through trials, through every season of life. Faithful love becomes the anchor in chaos, the strength in weakness, and the steady flame that warms the heart when everything else grows cold. It is the rarest jewel, hidden in plain sight, waiting to be recognized for the priceless gift it truly is.